You're listening to Fountain of Thought with your host, Dennis Fountain. One small step for man, one giant leap for America. Today's special guest star, Sonny Rain.
This show contains adult themes and language. Listener discretion is advised.
So you've been advised, Sonny.
I'm advised.
You've been advised. How you doing?
I'm worn out.
You're worn out from all the screaming and jumping for joy and celebration?
Oh, too much celebration.
Too much celebration. Okay. All right.
What time did you go to bed Sunday night?
Actually, about 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, beat you. I was up until 5:30.
My mother had called, and we discussed the game and some politics and things, and so we had a big, long discussion about the Super Bowl and politics. You know, they go together. Super Bowl and politics. They're a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So your thoughts?
Spectacular.
Spectacular?
I wrote them off at 24-0. I said, oh, my God, here we go. It's the Chicago Bears all over again.
Yeah. It was 21-0, and Linda was upstairs doing some scrapbooking. She's not a big football fan. She came downstairs, and she looked at the score, and she said, "Is that bad?" And I went, "Yeah." I says, "No team has come back from greater than a 10-point deficit." I says, "It's done." And then it went to 28-3. So there was a 25-point deficit, and I was like, I swear to God, I almost shut the television off and switched channels or something. I was very distraught and depressed. Amanda had texted me and said, on a scale from 1 to 10, how do you feel? I said a 1. I didn't write them off, but my biggest concern was I didn't want such a lopsided defeat. That's what it was. I wanted it to be, somewhat equal, because I knew that we would get razzing left and right. Especially when it was a shutout, I was scared. I was like, oh my God, where are the Patriots? What happened to them?
Oh, I know.
So I was a bit perplexed. Yeah.
But the ending, holy shit.
Nobody
ending saw that coming.
No, you couldn't. It was funny because I was watching, I would say the first 3 quarters. First half, definitely. Third quarter, a little bit. And if it wasn't for bad luck, they would have had none. I was like, everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. The missed point after, they were out by an inch, they dropped this catch. It was just everything. Interception, it was just, I was like, they have no luck. Yeah, I was totally worried. I really was.
I mean, I've seen the Patriots come out, and they sometimes have a tendency to play sloppy at first and take a little while to get into gear. But they were taking too long, and Atlanta was executing. And I said, "Oh God."
Well, this is my philosophy, and I've seen this over and over and over again with the Patriots. You're right. They come out a little slow, a little sloppy. They have a little bit of problem first half. The second half, they come out and just annihilate you. I mean, Bill Belichick goes back in, and I don't know what they do, but they do their voodoo magic, and they come out and they've got an answer for everything. That's why I was concerned, because they came back from halftime, third quarter, and they really weren't that spectacular yet. And I was like, wow, somebody just got their number today. So I like I said, I was worried. It really was. So I have the records that were broken. Have you had a chance to look at any of these? I know you know some of them just by watching the game, but
no, I didn't look at them. But I during the course of the game and stuff, I heard.
I have 2 pages. Are you ready for this? 2 pages of records that were broken or tied.
That's amazing.
All right, so Super Bowl records. Now this is only the Patriots side. I didn't include any because there are some records that were broken by both teams. Like both teams scored more in this Super Bowl than, whatever, that type of thing. I didn't include anything with both teams. I just included the Patriots. All right, just the Patriots. Super Bowl records tied. Wins by a player, 5, Tom Brady. Touchdowns in a game, 3 by James White. And where did he come from?
Oh, I know, huh?
I mean, just, amazing.
Oh, Belichick has that knack.
I know.
He finds these players that are lost or written off, and he brings them in, and for the most part, he's got a success rate of turning these players into superstars.
Yeah, and, fine, you cover this one and this one and this one, fine, we're going to use this one. Absolutely incredible. Single game 2-point conversions, 1 for James White and 1 for Danny Amendola. Single game 2-point conversions by a team, 2, New England. First downs by penalty in a game. I was laughing my ass off when this happened. That was funny.
Atlanta got so sloppy.
It was one after another. I was laughing. 4, New England. All right, now this is where the records really start to take off. Super Bowl record set. Super Bowl appearances by a player, 7 for Tom Brady. Super Bowl appearances by a head coach, 7 for Bill Belichick. Wins by a head coach, 5, Bill Belichick. Wins by a starting quarterback, 5, Tom Brady. We all know that. Super Bowl MVP award, 4 for Tom Brady. I'm going to stop there for a second. We all know, and we've talked about this at the last episode, that we believe, you and I, and I'm sure millions of Americans believe, that Tom Brady is the GOAT. And I wonder, though, do you think he should have gotten MVP for the Super Bowl?
He did get MVP for the Super Bowl.
I know. Should he have?
Oh, absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah.
You don't think any, like James White? He broke all kinds of records as well.
Yeah, you got a good point there because we did give the MVP to that wide receiver in one of the Super Bowls. But it's his ability just to rally and bring a team back from nothing.
I agree. But I'm playing a little devil's advocate here because one of the things is it seems that whenever there's a Super Bowl, you give the MVP to the quarterback. It just seems like it's just all right, quarterback.
Not necessarily. A lot of times it's running back, too.
Sometimes.
If you have an all-star running game, then...
But I don't know. I thought there was definitely some consideration that should have gone out. To take that team and do what they did, yes, you have to have an awesome quarterback, and we all know he's the greatest. But I just think that there was some play for James White. I think James White did a phenomenal job, and I don't know, co-MVP maybe or something? I don't know. I just thought that he should have got some type of recognition for what he did in that game.
First of all, I never liked this whole MVP to begin with. And the reason being is we're always taught, especially when we were growing up, it's a team sport. You work as a team.
Especially with New England.
Yeah, and to single one person out and say, okay, if we didn't have you,
right,
this wouldn't be possible. Well, that was proven at the beginning of the year. Tom Brady had to sit out 4 games. We won 3 out of 4, and you know what? We would have won.
We
all
probably
4
would have won, yeah,
if we didn't lose Garoppolo, as well. You know,
yeah.
And no disrespect to our third string quarterback, but because he did his best, but he was
unprepared. Yeah, he didn't know any of the plays.
No, he only knew half the playbook.
Yeah,
so he was very limited. But that proved again. Bill Belichick gets that team playing like a team.
Yeah.
And if one man goes down, it's not another
There's
man
someone
to jump
else,
up
and
take the job.
Or if somebody, fumbles the ball, doesn't do a good job, you're in the doghouse. Let's go. Next person, let's go.
It's do your job, and that's their logo. Yeah. Not their logo, their slogan.
So points in a game, 20. James White.
Wow.
The record. Career passes, 309 for Tom Brady. Pass attempts in a game, 62 for Tom Brady. Career completions, 207 for Tom Brady. Completions in a game, 43, Tom Brady. Career passing yards, 2,071, Tom Brady. Single game passing yards, 466 for Tom Brady. And I'll stop here again. Did it look like we passed for 466 yards?
No, it didn't. But see, he does a lot of short passes and stuff, so it adds up. But
it was consistent, I think. Yeah. It was consistent here, and there were a lot of third down conversions that came through. And
they pretty much abandoned the running game.
They tried, didn't go anywhere. Yeah.
LeGarrette Blount just couldn't get it going.
Yeah. So, but 466, it did not. That number astounded me. It did not look like we threw for 466. Yeah. So, anyways, let's see. Where was I? Career touchdown passes, 15 for Tom Brady. Receptions in a game, 14. James White.
Wow.
See, it's James White. He just did phenomenal. Super Bowl appearances by a team, 9 for New England. This one we kind of touched base on before, but largest deficit overcome by the winning team, 25 points for New England. That number right there is astonishing. Not 25 points in a regular game is astonishing, but 25 points in the Super Bowl? These kind of speak for themselves. Games won in overtime won New England because there's never been an overtime game at a Super Bowl.
And I was very surprised when they said that. I said, oh, my God, I never realized that.
Yeah.
That they never had an overtime game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And I'm going to pause it here again. And what do you think about the overtime rule? I know we've talked previously about this briefly, but here we see it into play in real time. And they win the coin toss, and they receive the ball. And come on, if the Patriots got the ball, they're going to win the game. And they were just crushing it in that fourth quarter. And in overtime, as soon as they won that, they were going to win. Now, it goes back and forth. Do you think that's fair that Atlanta didn't get a chance to touch the ball?
Well, the rule is if New England had to kick a field goal, they would have.
That's correct.
Okay, well, you have to blame the defense of Atlanta not stopping.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. So do you feel that they still had their fair share at winning this game?
According to the rules, yes. Do I think the rules should change? We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Number one, I think a coin toss has no business in any sporting event. Okay, we discussed this last show that the Super Bowl is alternated NFC,
right.
AFC. Okay, well, if this is an NFC Super Bowl,
which it was,
then Atlanta should have automatically got the ball for overtime.
So then Atlanta, theoretically, would be the Super Bowl champs.
If they
scored. And come on. And what are the odds? The odds are in their favor that they're going to score.
Well,
I believe it's 60% of the time when you win the coin toss in overtime, you win the game.
Yeah, but Atlanta could have just marched down. They could have stopped and ended up doing a field goal, which brings us right back to the same scenario.
Yeah.
Tom Brady gets the ball, and he marches him down and gets a touchdown. But the thing is, it's the coin toss. I've never liked the idea of deciding things on a coin toss. If you are the home team, you get to decide if you want to kick or defer at the beginning of the game. The other team will get the ball appropriately for the second half, and anything to do at overtime goes to the home team, just like last wraps in baseball.
Right.
No matter how much, when you're on the road, you're always going to give the home team that one last chance to come back and tie or win the game.
Right.
So that's that. But based on the rule, as we have to accept it.
Well, yeah, that's the rule. You got to play by the rules. Just like in politics, you got to play by the rules.
This is, like you said, this is the Super Bowl, and Atlanta should have stepped up.
Yeah,
knowing the Patriots had it and tried at least hold them to a field goal.
Right. That's my philosophy.
And they said because of the second half. Well, I had heard one of the analysts say, that's the word I'm looking for, analyst.
Joe Buck sucks. JoeBuckSucks.com, folks. It's coming to the internet near you.
You don't like that.
Oh, my God, I can't stand him. And I can't even, you know what? And Linda came down and she says, you're going to have to look at him for 3 hours. I says, no. I says, I don't have to look at him at least, but I got to listen to him. Oh, I can't stand him.
Well, anyway, getting back to what I was saying. What they had said was because New England was on the field with their offense so much that the Atlanta defense was worn out.
Yeah.
So by the end of the game, they didn't have any gas left in the tank.
They had nothing left.
Yeah. So that's where the Patriots... That's where they do their best work, is destroying you in the second half, is by keeping you out and keeping your defense out there while they march up and down the field scoring points.
Yeah. Now there was a lot of talk about that. Hurry up! What are you doing? Hurry up! Yell and people yelling at the TV. What are you doing? What are you doing? And they interviewed them after the game. They says, "Listen, at halftime, were you worried?" And they said, "Nah, we weren't really worried. We knew we weren't doing our best, but we weren't worried." I actually believe that. I actually believe the Patriots weren't worried. And one of the reasons is because when they did come back, and especially like in the fourth quarter, they weren't rushing. I mean, I was going, oh my God, they're waiting until like 2 or 3 seconds before they get while there's left on the clock before they get the playoff. Why aren't they hurrying up? And they weren't. They were doing what they do best. And I really believe that they were not worried that they were going to lose. They thought just, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it. And I think that's evidence of why they were taking their time at the plays. I mean, were you concerned when you saw them? I was, that they were just taking forever to get the plays off, and the clock was ticking away.
I wasn't concerned. I prefer to see a game be played smartly than
that's what it was.
Than to rush out there and execute sloppy and cause a turnover.
Yeah, but you've seen some of the. Come on, Tom Brady, they can do no huddle and then get a playoff before the defense is even lined up. I mean, they're good at that. That's something they're good at, and there really wasn't a lot of that. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But I think that they realized that, like you had just said, that Atlanta was out of steam, that they were done, that they had them. They had them beat, and I think that's what they knew. So
they had their backs up against the rope.
Yeah,
and they just needed.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing.
Give them the final punch.
You play football a lot differently when you're in a lead versus when you're tied or behind. It's a completely different game. So I think Atlanta, they weren't really ready for this. I don't think so. I don't think they handled it the way they should have. Well, obviously they didn't because they lost. But all right. Let's see. So we talked about the first overtime game. Points by a team in overtime, 6 for New England. That's
obviously,
yeah. Team first downs in the game, 37 for New England. And again, it didn't seem like it, but I guess that fourth quarter, everything poured on. Team passes for first downs in a game, 26 New England. Offensive plays by a team in a single game, 93 New England.
What do they consider offensive? Somebody dropped their drawers or something?
Yeah. when you fart on the sidelines. Did you see the pass and they almost what's his name?
Jimmy Johnson.
Thank you. Oh my God, Did you see on the sidelines when they took out Jimmy Johnson? The play was going. You didn't see that? You missed that, huh?
No.
Oh, that was funny. Well, it was when Atlanta there should have been a penalty because Atlanta grabbed, and I forget who it was, but Atlanta grabbed them outside of play and threw him to the ground, and he was practically in the freaking benches.
Yeah, that was Edelman.
Okay, Edelman. Yeah, when he threw him down. Well, as he was going through and they were crashing through everybody, Jimmy Johnson's there and he's backing up, and he got nailed.
Oh, I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
I thought that was funny. Yeah.
Speaking of Edelman, how about that New York Giant catch he pulled off?
Oh,
Was that amazing or what?
I couldn't believe that. Well, there were 2 of them. There was that one, and I'll give him credit. That one from Atlanta, I don't remember all the players, but the one from Atlanta when he caught that and came down inbounds, and I went, "Oh my God, how did he catch that?"
Oh, I know. He's up.
Yeah,
that was amazing,
incredible. So there were a couple of good catches from both sides, but Edelman, the way he bobbled that ball, and I thought for sure that was, how did he do that?
Well, the Atlanta guy hit the ball first.
Yeah.
Sent it up.
Yeah.
It's bouncing around, and then he just managed to
twice.
squeak his hand.
Yeah. And then it bounced out, and he caught it again, and I was like, wow.
Holy shit.
And then the freaking Atlanta had to challenge it. I suppose I don't blame him for challenging it, but come on. That was an awesome catch. And then there was one, I think it was like 2 plays after that, when Brady threw a rocket. And I was like, oh, my God, how did he catch that? There was traffic everywhere. They were fantastic. Passes by a team in a game, 63 New England. Completions by a team in a game, 43 New England. It's just amazing. It's the only problem that I'm having right now is that did you see the controversy about the final play?
No.
Well, New England haters and those that wanted Atlanta to win are saying that it wasn't a touchdown at the end. And it's going around all the news media and on the social media. And in fact, I have a picture here that they show that the ball did not break the plane on the final play.
Well, first of all, a lot of people think the plane of the goal is not the white.
Yeah, they think it's the
green on the inside.
Yeah.
It's exactly where the white begins.
Yeah.
And then only a smidgen of the ball touches that. That's a touchdown.
Yeah. But what they did is there's a still photo of it that's going around saying, look, here's our proof it didn't cross the plane. And there is somewhat of an uproar about it. And because if you remember when it was live, they jumped the field immediately after that. When the referee signaled hands in the air, went up for touchdown, everyone was on the field. And Brady was like, whoa, wait. And it was just chaos after that. And so the concern was, did he really, break the plane? Was it really a touchdown? And supposedly the NFL reviewed it and said, yes, it really was a touchdown. But people are saying, no, it wasn't, and they're showing this still frame photo to say that it wasn't.
Attention, Atlanta fans and Patriot haters alike. Stop your whining. If they didn't get it on that one, they would have got it on the next one.
Yeah, well, it's just like in politics. Stop your whining. Our team won.
Wham, 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 wham.
So I taped the game. I DVR'd the game. And I went back and I look over and over and over again. And it is unequivocally clear that the ball broke the plane. Now, there are shots where I've paused it and it looks like, wow, he didn't do it. But on another angle, you say, oh, yeah, okay, he did. And I think that's what's happening. They're using footage from an angle and a shot where it doesn't look like, because his knee's down and he didn't break the plane.
But that's not how they did the ruling.
Correct.
No, that's not how they do the ruling. How they decide whether that's a touchdown is Roger Goodell looks at it and says, more probably than not, it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the way.
That's
how
they do it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Every time.
So, haters want to hate, I guess. I don't know.
And I did see those Ring commercials, and that was funny.
Oh, I'm going to talk about that. Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead. We can talk about it right now. So, there's.
I wanted to. I had a couple of records I wanted to add to that.
All right, go ahead. Well, we'll come back to that. Go ahead.
And we were talking about appearances in the AFC championships. Believe it or not, we're second still.
Really?
Yeah. Pittsburgh Steelers still have more appearances in the AFC championship game. And,
but do you know how many? What's the number? Do you know what the number?
Yeah, I got it written down here somewhere. 16, I believe.
16 for them, and how many for us? 14?
13.
13. Okay.
Well, we've got, technically, this is how it works out. We've got 13 AFC championship game appearances, but we also have one AFL. AFL.
Yeah.
Before they merged. The Boston Patriots got their asses handed to them by San Diego and won. So technically, the championship games for the American League is 14. But Pittsburgh is up at 16.
Are all of those after the NFL was formed with the AFC and the NFC?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So technically,
the AFC championship game is after the merger because they went from AFL to AFC and NFC.
Right, but what I'm getting at is, so technically you can say it's 14, but in all reality it's 13 because before it doesn't count. So it's
13 and 16
13
appearances
and 16.
by Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Brady also has, I don't know if you brought this one up, he has 10 winning drives as a quarterback, which is the record. Only second, Elway's second with 6. So it's 10 winning drives in the Super Bowl. And Bill Belichick,
yes,
second oldest coach to win the Super Bowl.
Really?
Yeah. Coughlin is the oldest.
Well, isn't Brady got to be the oldest quarterback?
He's getting up. Well, I don't know.
Well, 30. Who won a Super Bowl that was older than him? He's 39 years old. That must be.
Well, how old is Hasselbeck?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he was up there.
I know Brett Favre was, but
I don't know. Brady's all I know is that Brady said. Apparently, there's a rumor Brady said he's playing 6 more years.
6. You know what? If anybody could do it, it could be him. It really could. Well, there was, and then again, there was a lot of talk about, is he done? Is he gonna be all done? And the players are going, no, I don't think so. And everyone's saying, well, he should retire while he's on top. While he was on top. Come on, look at all of the records this man just broke. He is at the top of his game. He shouldn't be, but he is.
He's not going anywhere, and neither is anybody else. Patricia declined to go interview for head coaching, and so did
McDaniels. Yeah,
both of them want to stay with the Patriots.
Yeah.
The whole coaching staff is coming back. They got a lot of players that are not free agents coming back. They're going to make a run for it again next year.
Oh, they always do. Every year they always make a run for it. There's no question in my mind. But I'm just sitting there, and I look at Tom Brady, and I look at the condition he's in, and what a wonderful job he's done. And he's changed his lifestyle, how he eats and exercises and everything. And they talked about it. One of the players said they were at a party, and it was in March, and they were drinking. And they wanted to do, I don't know if it was a toast or something, and they said Brady wouldn't participate, and he says, no, I'm in training. And they went, it's March, what do you mean you're in training? And Brady says, no, I'm not doing it. The man, I got to hand it to him. His body is a temple, and he knows how to take care of it, and I think he could go 6 years if he really wanted to. He's in great shape.
The number one thing I can promise you for Tom Brady's future is he's going to hell.
He's going to hell?
He's going to hell. Because there's no way, absolutely no fucking way, a backup quarterback out of Michigan State gets drafted in the 7th round to be a backup, and then because of some freak horrible luck to another quarterback, steps in and ends up going to 3 Super Bowls within 4 years. marries a supermodel, and to boot the whole thing, he's fucking great looking.
Yeah.
He had to gone down to the crossroads and made a deal with the devil. There's just absolutely no explanation other than that.
Well, they talked about that. They said that they think the whole team has because it's of what happened at halftime. They think the whole team sold their souls to the devil. So,
I mean, how can one and
I know.
then millions of dollars on top of it? And
yeah.
it's amazing.
And he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something else I wanted to talk about is you look at when Goodell shook his hand. They get the trophy and the congratulations. Tom Brady's a better man than me because I got to tell you, I would not have shooken. I don't know how you say it, but I wouldn't have done that. I would have flipped him off and said, "Fuck you, Roger."
Yeah,
I mean,
but he had his little.
Okay. Let's talk about the. Okay, so he probably.
I had one more.
Okay, one more stat.
One more stat that hasn't happened yet, but it's a possibility. And if it is, the Patriots have to face the Arizona Cardinals in the Super Bowl and win.
Why?
Because if they do, they would have beaten all the foul teams in the NFL in a championship game. Foul teams.
Get it? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But it's true. There's only 5 teams named after birds, and we've beaten 4 of them.
Okay. So, commercials.
Foul.
Yeah. Foul. Mm-hmm.
The pain.
All right. So this is a local commercial. So not everybody in the country has seen this commercial, although maybe now with talk on social media they might have. But there's a local commercial for an MRI company. And Brady walks into the office to get an MRI done, and he's in the waiting room, and he's sitting there reading a magazine. And nurse comes in and says, "Mr. Brady, we'll see you now." And he walks up and she says, "You'll have to take all your jewelry off before you go to the MRI. We have a locker here for you." And he holds up his hands and he's got 4 rings. And he pulls off his 4 rings and he puts them in the locker. And she goes to close it and she says, "Is there anything else?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, wait a minute."
No. Go back to how it was aired first.
Well, that's how it aired first. There were 2 of them.
It stops right there.
Yeah, during the Super Bowl, that's how it stopped. And he put his 4 rings into the locker, closed it, and MRI, blah 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 blah, all this stuff, and it's done. After the Super Bowl, the exact same thing happens, and he puts the 4 rings in, and she turns to him and she says, "Is there anything else?" And he goes, "Oh, wait a minute. Yep, sorry." And he pulls out of his pocket a ring. He says, "This one's kind of new. Sorry, forgot about it." He hands her the 5th ring, and she says, "Oh, well, you're going to need a bigger locker." And he turns to the camera and he goes, "Roger that."
And that's why he shook his hand during the Super Bowl.
So, yeah. Oh, I was laughing my ass off.
I was just as pleased with that as them signing of deflated football.
Yeah.
I said somebody had to get zinged somewhere, and that was perfect. That was
so good. But now, hats off to Tom Brady for being a stand-up guy and not publicly coming out and making a statement and taking anything away. He's a stand-up guy. Did a great job. And you and I talked on the phone about this, and his children in attendance. And yes, they all were in attendance. They were all there.
Oh, the one from Agawam?
Yeah, they were all there. So his kids were all there. And
I felt so bad for his mother. I didn't realize she was going through all that.
Yeah. Well, you saw him break down. You never see Tom Brady break down. He was on his knees crying. He broke down, and that for Tom Brady, that's something you don't see. He's almost like a Bill Belichick. He doesn't show any emotion.
Remember when he was standing in the field by himself, and LeGarrette Blount ran up to him?
Yeah.
Well, this reporter later on in the night, because again I stayed up late, said he come hella high water, he had to find out what LeGarrette Blount whispered in his ear, and he tracked LeGarrette Blount down and asked him, and he simply said to him, "You're not over yet."
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah. So
watch out 2018.
Watch out 2018. And for all of yous out there, for all of yous,
what's a use?
It's similar to a ute. A ute. You know what? Tell you what. We're gonna head to a commercial. I have to check the oil in my car, so we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors, and we'll pick this up.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor of our show, please drop us an email. You can contact us at talkfot@gmail.com. All right, a couple more things I want to talk about before we get off of the Super Bowl topic. The Boston Globe, the wonderful Boston Globe, printed the headline, "A Bitter End," that the New England Patriots lost the Super Bowl, and they mailed this newspaper out.
What a bunch of boobs.
You bubble-headed booby.
Bubble-headed booby.
So I guess in order to get it mailed out and sent out in time for subscribers, they printed it up ahead of time that the Patriots lost the Super Bowl. Love to get my hands on that newspaper.
What did we talk about weeks back about the irresponsibility of journalism?
False
today?
news, fake news.
Screw it. We'll just go with it, and if we're wrong, fuck it.
Yeah, who cares? All right. Ooh, let's talk about halftime show and commercials. Now, before the Super Bowl took place, there was some controversy going on that Lady Gaga was going to have some political things to say. And I was a bit worried because I don't think that's appropriate for the Super Bowl. I just didn't think that that's a place where you stand and make a statement. And so she performed. She did not say anything that was political in any way, shape, or form. I appreciate that. I liked the show. I thought she did a great job. She didn't lip sync, for one, which I thought was fantastic. And she actually sounded pretty good. So I was happy with the performance. Now, there are those out there that say the whole performance was a political statement. Are you a moron? No, I'm not a moron, okay? I am smart and I understand things. And some of the lyrics in her song make a political statement. But that's who she is. Those are the songs she sings. She sang her number one hits. She didn't change the lyrics. She didn't make up a new song. She didn't do anything differently. And to be honest, she was hired way before President Trump became president. So this was already in the works. She was going to sing those songs no matter what. And, you know, they're saying, well, she made a statement about gay and lesbians, transgender, and all this stuff. Well, all right, maybe she did, but Donald Trump isn't against those anyways. He's the only Republican that carried a LBGQT, ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOP, QRSTUVWXYZ banner. So, yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Come on. It used to be gay and lesbian. Now it's LBGQT. I don't even know what it is anymore. It's just there's so, transgender, and I get it. And they're all people, and I understand that. But their initials just keep growing and growing and growing. But anyways, so did she make a political statement or not? I don't think so. I mean, the only political statement that she would have made was the fact that just her music sometimes is her music is her music, and most artists say something, in their music anyways. They're artists, and they tend to make statements like that. So, I don't know. I was just pleased with her that she didn't come out and stand and make some mockery of the event or whatever. I was very pleased with Lady Gaga. I liked the Luke Bryan. I thought that was great. I didn't have a problem with that. However, the performers from the cast of Hamilton that sang and put in sisterhood instead of brotherhood. I don't know. In the grand scheme of things, who gives a flying freak? But I don't know. I don't think you should. Again,
you can say it. We have a disclaimer.
Who gives a flying fuck?
There you go.
It's just not part of me, though. I don't drop the F-bomb unless it's really, really required.
And that's when you're really angry.
Yeah.
When you're really angry.
Well, that pisses me off that people go, and nowadays in conversations, it's fuck this, fuck that. Every other word is fuck, 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 fuck. Sorry, Mom. I know you're listening. Sorry.
Do you listen to the parents who do this with their kids?
Well,
right
this
in
is
the
what
car?
I mean.
It blows my mind.
But that word has lost everything now. It used to be, when you said that word, it was like, that's why it's called the F word, because that's like the worst, one of the worst words. But now it's so frequent and commonplace that all the meaning is gone from it. So I like to save it for when it's really, really meaningful. Yeah. Fuck you. So,
usually it's me that gets it too.
Yeah, I know. I just, anyways, we'll just skip on. Did you like the halftime show?
I didn't watch it.
You really didn't watch it?
I think I went upstairs to check on my mother and my sister, which I take care of my elderly mother and my sister with Down syndrome. And I think I'd gone upstairs to fix her TV or whatever, and then I took the dog out.
Oh,
so
anyways, I thought it was a good halftime
like I told
show.
You, I used to like it when they had the
marching bands.
The marching bands. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
This is too much. I don't know. It's just over the
too
top.
much showbiz. It's just
I like to. There's traditions to certain things. You go to the movies, popcorn is a tradition. You go to a football game, marching bands is a tradition to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the way I grew up.
I don't mind the halftime show. I like it. I don't always like who they have performing, but there was no wardrobe malfunction. There was no anything, and Lady Gaga caught the football. They threw a football at her, and she caught it and jumped off the stage. I thought that was kind of good. Good coordination. So I don't know. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was really good.
You thought you were going to go ape shit.
I did. I really was. You
were preparing.
I was prepared. I was prepared to do this whole monologue of denouncing her and but I don't have a problem. I thought she did a good job. Let's talk commercials. I know you saw those. I was very, very disappointed in the commercials this year.
This has
hugely
been like 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but this year more than ever. Come on, $5 million for 30 seconds, and the garbage that was there was awful. There were a couple that maybe were kind of cute. The Skittle ones was a little cute. I don't know. I really didn't like one that was. I thought the Spuds McKenzie one was stupid, and
that was.
And they didn't even have his. He was talking, but his mouth wasn't moving. Come on, in this day and age with special effects, you got to be able to. I don't know. I didn't like them. However, the worst one of all was the 84 Lumber commercial. And in fact, you may not even have known it was an 84 Lumber commercial. That's the commercial with the mother and daughter that were in Mexico, and they were making their way across the country somehow. And what happens is you don't know why, but all of a sudden one day this mother comes to this daughter. She's probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years old, something in that range. And they put stuff in a backpack and, they start heading off. She gives this guy a couple of bucks. They hitch a ride on a truck, and you see them walking in different areas of the country. Along the way, the little girl is picking up scraps of plastic and fabric and things of that nature, and you can see what's coming. I mean, you know what's happening. And although it doesn't say it, you know that they're immigrants and they're migrating to the United States. And it looks like they're illegally migrating because they're trying to get into the country. They're paying people, all this stuff. So it ends, and the commercial is 90 seconds long. So that cost them $15 million for this commercial. And then it ends, and it says to see the rest of the commercial, go to 84lumber.com. Well, so many people went to there that the website shut down, so half of America couldn't see the rest of it. The whole commercial in itself is over 5 minutes long. And it turns out that they couldn't air the end of the commercial. The end of the commercial is they're walking along, and then they come across a wall, and they can't get into the United States because there's a giant wall in the way. And and eventually they're moving along, and they see a door, and they open the door, and they walk through. It turns out that this was actually the commercial was done so horribly wrong that it doesn't say anything about 84 Lumber. It doesn't say anything about immigration. It's polarized the whole country in different ways. It was just the worst commercial ever. In fact, Ace Metrics, which scores the commercials, they said that the ad aired was the lowest performing Super Bowl ad of all time. Okay, worst commercial ever. And 84 Lumber, which is they're based out of Pittsburgh, is it's kind of like a cheaper Home Depot, and basically they just carry lumber and things like that, low cost. And they claimed that their ad was meant to recruit 20-something-year-olders to come work for their company. And here's the rub: if you look at that ad, you think it's for illegal immigration. They say the exact opposite. That they say they want to portray their construction crews as building a wall. And after the journey, the mother and daughter arrive at the U.S.-Mexico border, and they find the wall, and they're crushed, and they're heartbroken, and the daughter takes out those pieces of fabric, and it forms an American flag, and they start crying. And they can't find a way into America. But then eventually they discover this door, and they push it open, and the ad ends with, "The will to succeed is always welcome here. 84 Lumber." And so a statement from 84 Lumber says, "We do not condone illegal immigration. The journey of the mother and daughter symbolizes grit, dedication, and sacrifice, characteristics that we look for in our people at 84 Lumber. President Trump has previously said there should be a big, beautiful door in the wall so that people can come into this country legally. We couldn't agree more. And 84 Lumber wants to build that big, beautiful door."
That's what I was going to say before. It sounded to me like they were just trying to bid on the job.
Well, that's it. That's what they were. And I understand that 84 Lumber has contributed to Donald Trump's campaign. So they're in favor of building this wall. And I guess that was an ad because they want to build the wall. But my whole point is it was horribly, horribly done. This is the first time 84 Lumber is taking an ad out in the Super Bowl. In my opinion, although there's been lots of talk about it, so maybe not, but what a waste of $15 million. That commercial was it was horrible.
But all the employees are saying, we could have got raises.
Yeah, $15 million, absolutely. So I don't know. I didn't think the commercial worked. I thought it was bad. There was no really good commercial. Where are the Doritos commercial? Remember those Doritos commercials? Those are always good commercials. Budweiser sucked. There were no good commercials there. Where have all the good commercials gone?
I don't know. That used to be an art form.
I know, and that was
especially during the 90s. It was just unbelievable. They had remember the bowl there.
Oh yeah.
And every commercial was a little bit more.
And Puppy Bowl. Where was Puppy Bowl? There was no Puppy Bowl this year. There was nothing. When I watched football during the regular season, I DVR it, and then I watch the DVR. And I very seldom do I watch it live. I can fast forward through the commercials. So I DVR it, and about a half hour into it, I start watching. And Linda asked if I was going to DVR it. I said, no, I want to watch it live because I want to see the commercials. I could have fast forwarded. There was nothing of any significance there whatsoever. I was very, very disappointed in the commercials. So,
but you can also blame that on there's so much of this bullshit, politically correct crap going on that everybody's afraid to.
Well, it's clear that some of them were trying to say something by their commercials. There was lots of unity, lots of shaking hands and being friends and buddies with everyone, and I don't have a problem with that. And I don't think that's a political statement. Like Coca-Cola. Coke has always had those kinds of ads. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
Oh, yeah. My God, it's terrible.
I know. We don't have perfect harmony. I can't sing if my life depended upon it. That's why I DJ, because I can't sing. But, Coke has always had that type of philosophy. And they had a commercial where, all kinds of races and religions were getting together sharing a Coke. I don't have a problem with that because that's who they are. They've always been that way. And there was some overtone in that. I don't think Donald Trump is that way. Everyone says he's a racist, he's this, and the supporters, those that support him are. I think that's complete a fallacy. It's a lie. It's not real. But, the left tries and the media tries to portray it this way. But as far as the commercial goes, I give them an F. They were horrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Horrible. All right, so let's talk about Sonny's dirty joke of the show. Sonny, you got a dirty joke for us this episode?
I absolutely do.
Would you care to share it with us?
I would love to share it with you.
Lay it on me, brother.
All right. Little Red Riding Hood, she's trotting along her little trail carrying her little basket, and out jumps the big bad wolf. And he says, "Now, Little Red Riding Hood, that I found you, I'm gonna kill you." And she gets really mad, looks and goes, "Oh, no, 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 you're gonna eat me just like the book says."
All right.
Interested in your very own shout-out? Let us know at facebook.com/Fountain of Thought, on Twitter at TalkFOT, or email us at talkfot@gmail.com. And you could be rewarded for listening.
All right, shout-outs going to Gene Martin from Greenfield, Mass., and to Jim J-Dog Allen from Leverett, Mass. Congratulations, guys. Thanks for listening. If you want to hear a shout-out, let us know, and you can have your name on our wonderful podcast.
The moment you've been waiting for is finally here. Yes, true or false headlines.
All right, Sonny.
Is this the football edition?
This is not the football edition. True or false? Man smuggles gold out of Canadian Mint using his anus.
True.
That is true, yeah.
People use their ass to smuggle all kinds of things.
Leston Lawrence was sentenced to 30 months in prison on Thursday for theft, breach of trust, and money laundering. He will serve an additional 30 months if he doesn't pay the $145,000 in restitution within 3 years. The sentencing judge, Peter Doody, told... Get it? Doody?
Seriously?
Doody? Yeah, that's really his name, Doody. D-O-O-D-Y, Doody. Told the court prison time was needed to deter others from attempting similar crimes. The 35-year-old Lawrence worked at the Canadian Mint in Ottawa for 7 years as an operator in the Mint's refinery section, before being fired in March of 2015. Lawrence, get this, Lawrence set off a metal detector inside the Mint building 28 times in a span of 41 days. Although gold was never found on or in him, in his body. Investigators stated they suspected Lawrence was sticking the shiny gold where the sun doesn't shine after finding latex gloves and Vaseline in his locker. The value of the value of the stolen gold pucks. Yep. All right, next one. Security guard kills 60-year-old man for playing Pokemon Go.
False.
That is true.
Really?
True, yes. A 60-year-old Virginia man is dead after being shot by a security guard while playing Pokemon Go. Zhansheng Chen was playing the game Thursday evening in his minivan near Riverwalk Clubhouse in Chesapeake, Virginia, when a security guard approached him. Some sort of confrontation followed, and Chen was shot and killed in the van. 10 bullets were shot into the front of the windshield of Chen's van. Chen had no weapon in his possession, police said. Chen lived nearby and played Pokemon Go as a way to connect with his grandchildren. A witness who asked not to be identified said she looked out of her window after hearing some gunshots. Quote, "I could see the security guard pointing at the car and he was yelling at the guy, but I could clearly see that the guy was already dead. The security guard panicked, started cursing, and I saw him pace around the car," the woman said. Chen didn't speak English, but believes the language barrier only played a slight part in the incident. Ironically, Chen does own a home in the area and is one of the people that the security guard is supposed to be protecting. The case is still under investigation.
Wow.
All right. Next one. True or false? Deep-sea fisherman catches tuna full of human body parts.
Tuna full?
A tuna. You know, a
Full
fish.
of body?
A tuna,
No, that's false.
Tuna. You're correct. That is false. I made that up. Next one is mom claimed daughter was kidnapped so police would find her car quicker.
Sounds like a teenager. True.
It is true. A woman in Columbus, Ohio is facing charges for allegedly filing a false report of a missing child just so officers would find her stolen car faster. Jessica Pickett's 2004 silver Chevy Impala was stolen in front of the home while she was warming it up. She told police that she put her 4-year-old daughter in the car and went back in to get another kid. When she came back out, the vehicle was missing. Authorities issued an Amber Alert in central Ohio to find the missing girl. The car was found about a mile away from the home where it was stolen, but no child was inside. Bradley Stroud, 22, was charged with grand theft auto, but the girl wasn't found until the 911 dispatcher got a call saying that she was at her aunt's house. Investigators determined she had been visiting with her aunt since Sunday, long before the car was stolen. Her children are now in custody of the Franklin County Child Services, and Stroud is out on a $50,000 bond. I'm still waiting for that perfect score from you, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, is it?
Maybe.
All right. Last one of the day. Cheese fingered in pizza robbery.
False.
That is true. You're going to get a kick out of this one.
Where do you troll for this crap?
We've had this discussion before. Do your homework. Sheldon Cheese, 17 years old, allegedly helped Logan Alexander, an 18-year-old high school basketball star, steal 2 pies and $25 from a man at gunpoint on January 24th. Cheese was booked on January 22nd. As of Tuesday morning, both remained in New York County Prison, according to the prison roster. Cops say Cheese... This is just funny to read. Cops say Cheese lured the man out of a car by knocking on the window, and Alexander was waiting outside with a gun pointed at him. Cops found Alexander's car near the scene with Cheese's wallet and ID inside, and the delivery man later identified Cheese as one of the suspects. Both were charged with robbery and conspiracy. So the Cheese did it.
That was stupid. It's time to dig deep. That only means one thing. It's time for questions from my side.
All right, after all that cheese. Why are there no B, as in battery, size batteries? Why are there no B-size batteries? You have A, double A.
Yeah, C, D. Are you positive?
That there's no B? Yes, I'm positive there's no B batteries. I'm wondering if they just...
Even those little flat ones?
No, those aren't, no. They're usually, I don't know what they're usually CR something, 2032, 2016. They're all CRs. And you have a 9-volt battery, flashlight batteries, but there's no B. The only thing I can think of is maybe they left it out because B for battery, so they didn't. It's a good question. I don't have an answer.
I don't either.
I'm stumped. All right. And next one is there a time limit on fortune cookies?
You mean an expiration date?
Yeah, as in like if you read your fortune and it says you will win the lottery. Is there a time limit? Will it happen in the next hour, 10 hours, 10 days, 100 days? Is it good for life? Is there an expiration date, a time limit on your fortune?
That was stupid.
Next.
I just pull them from my sack.
Who the moron sending them in?
I don't know. All right. Can crop circles be square?
Never seen one.
You've never seen a crop circle?
No.
You mean
never saw a square one?
You've never seen a square one?
No.
There are all kinds of shapes.
Yeah, but it's usually cylindrical.
So your answer is no?
Yeah, I would say so. You ever see a square spaceship?
Have you ever seen a spaceship?
I've seen lots of them.
You have?
Yeah.
Really? Do tell.
Oh, wait a minute. The Borg was square. Yeah, I'll take that back.
Yeah. You suck. You're awful. You suck. Just forget it. Just.
When are we going to get some intelligent questions on here?
Well, we need intelligent listeners.
For the love of God.
All right. Let's move on.
Please do.
Sonny's pet peeve
of the week.
My pet weave.
Wait a minute. You have pet weaves?
Pet weaves?
Is that why your hair looks so funky today?
Oh, Lord. My pet peeve of the week is I can't stand people who take grocery shopping carts and bring them halfway across town and abandon them on other people's lawns. And I speak from experience because I've already brought 3 big Y carts back to the store that were left on my front lawn.
Well, that's because you live in a slum.
Oh, you know that.
Doesn't happen in real towns.
Oh, no, but this has been going on long before we were a slum. I mean, there's right in the building, a big-ass sign. It says right on it, please do not remove shopping carts from parking lot. But, and then you see these losers going up the street with them.
You're making it more difficult for them because here's what's happening. They're taking their shopping cart full of groceries, they're bringing them to their house, and then they're taking the groceries out, leaving the cart there, where they will be taking the cart back to Big Y on another time.
No,
so
they leave it on my front lawn. That's where I find them, or an abandoned parking lot. Or they don't leave them at their house and bring them back to the store. It pisses me off.
Okay.
Pisses me off.
All right.
Leave the God-blaming shopping carts where they belong.
Yeah. Is it just Big Y or is Walmart to blame too? Walmart's too far.
Walmart that's a little different because the way it's secluded down there.
See now,
that's also in a neighborhood that people have cars. It's not in the general slum area where I am.
Yeah. No, see, if I had a pet peeve about shopping carts, it was that they don't return them to that little place where, I don't know, the return cart area.
That goes without saying, too. I mean, when you're walking out, first of all, and you've got a bag of groceries. Come on, you lazy shit. Just pick up the bag and leave the carriage at the door. Why do you have to bring it all the way across the parking lot and then just abandon it?
Yeah, just leave it there.
And
because
not only leave it there, but leave it in the parking space next to you so some asshole has to get out of his car and move it so he can park there.
This is a God's honest true story. I will tell you that some people like it that way. Linda's grandmother needed help going to the grocery store. I decided that I'd help her out. And she's, God, she's not going to kill me, 92 or 94. I forget how old she is. So I decided to help out Linda's grandmother and take her to Stop and Shop. And when we went to Stop and Shop, she has a handicap tag so she can park in the handicap spot. But she made me find a spot that had a shopping cart next to it. And I went, Grandma, I can bring a shopping cart over. No. We got to this big discussion. She would when she went on her own, she would sit in her car and wait sometime a half hour to 45 minutes before somebody would come by and leave a shopping cart for her because she couldn't stand by herself. She needed the shopping cart to give her assistance. So she would park in a handicapped spot and wait for someone to leave a carriage behind so she could get out, walk to the carriage, and then walk into Stop and Shop. So see, some people are doing other people favors by leaving the shopping cart.
Couldn't she just call the store and have a clerk bring one out to her?
No, because that would require assistance from someone else, and she's very, very prideful.
Independent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I thought that was a bit humorous. And then when I parked there, I says, Grandma, come on, I can get a shopping cart. I'll bring one over. No, you park right there. We were very particular about how we had to go in a certain way. They're set in their ways. You have to do this a certain way, that a certain way.
You're telling me, right?
Yeah, I know.
You're telling
they're set
me.
in a way. So, anyways. All right. Moving right along.
It's catchy, I'm telling you.
It is catchy. All right, that's going to do it for us in this episode, this wonderful week, Super Bowl week, sensational week. Any final thoughts there, Sonny?
Go Pats 2018.
All right, that sucked. Thanks for that final thought. That was awful.
Oh, well, excuse me. Would you like a better one?
Yeah, you got one? No, or else you would have said it, right?
I don't want you to hear it.
Okay.
You're buying the popcorn on Thursday.
Alrighty. Reminding everyone to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Fountain of Thought. Tweet us at TalkFOT or drop us an email at talkfot@gmail.com. And don't forget, folks, what? You want to say something?
Be a fountain, not a drain.
Very good. Excellent. You win today. You're good. Good boy.